Well, what if a witch, a handsome devil, and some monsters lived here? And they do. Hi, I'm Caroline Morris, and I've found a lot of space in being part of the Phantastical Creature Playspace, being invited to truly look at what I am, beyond what you see, beyond what I've seen, beyond what I thought I was. And that was usually wrong, very wrong. I wasn't pretty enough, I wasn't thin enough, I wasn't tall enough, I wasn't sexy enough, I wasn't sassy enough, whatever that is. And it doesn't really matter. It's simply that I'm different. And when you start to choose to allow yourself to be the difference, I get that's when you start stepping into the fantastical. Hi there. Lovely that you're joining me. We know it's where we're going. We're winging it, darling. We're winging it. I'm on the back of a mare, man. Yeah, sure am. So fantastical in the way that we're using it is about being all of you, being fantastical in the sense of all the phantom whispers, that all of the yous that you be, depending on what your beliefs are. I mean, I believe that there is no limit to possibility. I have got very frustrated in trying to find my truths, in believing that things were possible where my daughter said, Mum, you cannot fly, you cannot step on air, please don't try it. And I'm thinking, well, you know what? I'm sure you can. I think there has to be a way. So I guess that I really didn't come into being or appreciating myself in this way. Really, it was last year. Siris and I had a conversation last year, and I'll be honest, it was about March last year when I suddenly realised I'm different and it's okay. And that, for me, was a huge, huge opening into so much more space in my life. And it's taken a while because I've played with a lot of things. I've probably played for a lot of things for maybe about, I don't know, best part of 20 years, I suppose. And before that, yes, when I was very small, I remember being in bed, not feeling well, and seeing vibrant lights in the room. And my senses, like many other people, I completely switched off. I was terrified, really terrified. I used to be terrified of Santa Claus. Crazy am I? But you know, and yeah, I've always loved the magic. I've always believed that there was magic in the everyday, but I never really saw myself as part of it. I made it separate from me. And I know now that no matter who you are, no matter what you are, we're all energies. And if something's showing up and you're not liking it, when you come from the space and place that I am a fantastical creature, I'm showing up in this body, I'm showing up at this time, but I was born for such a time. And I really was. At some level we choose, my point of view, and it may not be yours. And what if in that choosing we know things that we aren't always allowing ourselves to know? And what would it take to allow ourselves to know all the things that we actually would have so much fun knowing? And in the knowing, it is no significant. Hello, hello, darling. There's so much fun in the knowing. And yeah, I know that, and I've said this before, that it was probably also last year, one of my close friends said to me, Caroline, you know, I said, I didn't realise I was as creative, because creativity has always been something that when I started on the journey of different modalities of playing with, which seemed to get more and more and more out of the box, creativity was one of the first things I asked that I should access it more. And I am so grateful that something in me was not sensible. Let's not go too far. Not sensible. Actually allowed myself to choose that. Because I do believe that many people bore themselves to death. And hiya, hello. I do believe people bore themselves to death. And that's part of it. And when you live from the fun of life and looking at, well, okay, this has come up. This is what is this? What is this showing me? Is it relevant to me? Is it really relevant? And what's the gift? Because like you can choose a world of trauma, drama, ding dong, or you can choose a world that's kind of okay and fitting in and tick tock, and you can live on the fringe or you can live in the ethers. And to be honest, I've lived a lot in the ethers and faded, not because I haven't had fun. I have had fun, but I didn't somehow allow myself to have fun with others in a way that I have now. I am so grateful for the Phantastical Creature Playspace, and also to be part of a phenomenal team of people that are just, well, they're maybe creatures, really, seen and unseen in the Academy of the Seen and Unseen, where the Silkies roam and the mermaids play and the trolls, and all of them have something to say to us. And hey, I've got my dragon and my water horse here today, which have been creations, and some of you know it's been a few years and I still haven't finished them, and they're still talking to me, just about, I think. So with all that I've done, I used to be, in my old life, I was a medical artist, and I loved doing that. I loved doing it. I was told I drew very voluptuously at my interview when I got my interview, but it took me all the same, and I made the job my own in different ways, and it created a lot. And then I got the chance to have redundancy, which I asked for about 3 times, and eventually got it. And that was like, you know, I'm having it because there's things in my life I'd like to create, and if I don't choose them, what would it take to get to the end of your life and feel you hadn't chosen? You hadn't chosen, and it's your life. Nobody else can do me like me. You know, well, okay, I've been so good at being a shapeshifter that somehow along the line I forgot that I wasn't my mum. I wasn't other people. I wasn't the role of daughter. That wasn't all that I am. It's not all that I am to be a mum. It's not all that I am to be an artist. It's not all that I am to be a mentor or whatever else, crazy or not, I am. And it's like, in the invitation that each of us are, what can we invite somebody else to? I remember somebody saying to me, if you're in a test or an exam and you choose to wear red panties, nobody else knows you've got them on. Or you could wear red briefs if you're a guy, or boxer shorts. Hey, who's counting? Nobody else knows, but you do. And sometimes the unseen gifts us in a way that is not obvious. And each of us knows things that nobody else does. I mean, I finally get that nobody else creates really the way I do. Nobody bounces about the way I do as a tiger with however many tails it is this week. Because when I'm in my joy, I feel like Tigger from Piglet and Pooh and all that. It's Tigger for me, because it's just like, and it's also how many impossible things are possible for me that are not possible for you, and how many impossible things can you be and do that aren't possible for me? And what if we put all that impossibility together? What kind of reality and world can we have that we could never have before now? So yeah, it's interesting how exciting life can be, and how much you can give somebody with a smile. And I have never really appreciated, I think a lot of my value for me has been in what I can give somebody, not me showing up, just being there. You know, whether it's like I'm a mum or I'm a friend or I'm just there. And sometimes out of the blue, you know, all of us can be that, and somebody acknowledges it. And it's like a diamond. It's like being gifted some amazing, magical gift. And in my life, one of the things I think along the way that has, in a way, as somebody asked me once, why don't you do and be out there in every way that, you know, that you say that you would like to? And for me, I realised that I'd used my own awareness of what is and what isn't against myself. We are so aware. And how often has somebody else told you what your awareness is? How often has somebody said, you require to do that or you require not to do that? As mums, come on, I hold my hand up. I've done that with my daughter years ago, and then I stopped it, and I stopped doing it as much. And I stopped doing it as much, especially when she told me things that I told her and gave me it right back. Very annoying when kids do that. And yet, how often have we done that to our people? So for me, it's a very interesting ride, and it's never been more expansive. I've never felt more lit up, and I've never been able to bounce beyond my downs and blips the way I can now. And part of that awareness, using your awareness against you, was where I was stopping me, because I didn't discern what I was aware of. I made it mine, I made it personal. And so much of it isn't personal. But it is about you and I choosing to be space. The pause sometimes, and sometimes it's the word, and sometimes it's the song, and sometimes it's the garden, and sometimes it's whatever it is for us individually. Because the gifts I have are not the gifts you have. They might be some of them, but they'll never be the same. Because you are fantastically you. And I get it. I'm fantastically me too. And it has made a huge difference, a huge opening, meeting people that you don't have to explain yourself to, that are willing to step out of judgment. They may not agree with you. It's not about agreeing with one another, but it is about being that space to listen. Sometimes I know that I rattle on. Sometimes it's nerves. Sometimes I'm dispersing, as one of my friends once said. I have to talk, Caroline. It's the way I dissipate my energy. And sometimes you're dissipating not only your energy, but everybody else's energy as well. And, it's so interesting that in this space that we have here, in the Phantastical Playspace, we have so many beautiful, and that seemingly is one of my gifts. I was told once by somebody, and I was at an Access body week of body classes, and she said, I hadn't met her before, and she said, you're the woman with an eye for beauty. I thought, oh, okay. And it's true. I suppose my mum very much looked at life as, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And it is, because we all see things differently. But I actually can see a lot of beauty in most things. The thing is, sometimes where I forget is not everybody chooses to use beauty. And when I'm saying beauty, I mean truth as well. I mean beauty as truth and truth as beauty. Because your truth is beautiful. Life can be shared. But along the way, there is a beauty and there is a magic to it when we're willing to receive it. And we all receive differently. And one of the things that I only realised the other day, and it was to do with when I was at art school and things, was that part of me has always desired to be received as I am, in the being of me, not because I'm top of the class or bottom of the class or a naughty girl or a great girl or whatever it is, just to receive me. And I have some phenomenal people around me now that do that. And the amount of space and creativity that is possible when you have these kind of people is just beyond words. It's beyond words a gift. And you come, or I have come to see that I'm a gift too. It's like in the past, I was often very grateful for others, but didn't really see the value of me. And through these amazing people that I play with in different ways, including my enjoyable other, who has been a gift in so many ways to allow me to step out of where I used to be into what I truly be. It makes such a difference. And the possibilities and the crazy and the magic and the miracles that can show up are just beyond words. And I get that each of us on here now, everybody went on here now and in the future, what inspiration are each of us when we allow it, when we simply show up as us, even if it means that we show up at an event. And as somebody I know recently said, I showed up at an event, there was a lot of gossip, I walked out. Not interested in that, that doesn't work for me. So honouring ourselves in whatever way that is for us. And what if, regardless of other people's points of view, because people will always laugh at something, or not, and not always in nice ways. And what if we remembered that it has nothing to do with us and so much more to do with them? And often where we pick up the judgments and the awarenesses and things, how often is an awareness a judgment and a judgment an awareness? And how often is it nothing to do with us? I think that's probably why I hid as long as I have. And beginning to come out and play with things like the colouring book that I created, and I'm beginning to create another one. Playing with people creating a new oracle deck, which is very much about pulling in energies from way beyond here and being cool with it and saying out loud, yes, this is what I do. This is what I do, and I love doing this. Come on, dragons. Come on, playmates. Come on, angels and mer people and whatever else, trolls, salamanders, sylphs, dryads, whatever. And those that we have no names for. Those whose languages we cannot discern. It's like somebody I was speaking to last night was saying the kind of creatures he works with, and he wanted to call one of his guides a name, and the name was unpronounceable for us. And having these conversations is such a lot of space in a way that a lot of the conversations I used to have were very beige, and it makes such a difference. So thank you all. For those that would come to the Phantastical Playspace, what can you contribute? What gift? Come and post things, come and play with us, come and inspire us, come and be inspired. Whether it's painting, drawing, gardening, knitting, sewing, I don't know, just being, talking, not talking. Bring your energies, bring your joy, and bring your love. Because love is the energy. I never really realised what love was till recently. So many people talk about love in ways it's nothing to do with anything that's actually true about it. And when we come from that space, that ginormous space of possibility, to me that is more about what love is about, the allowance and the receiving, and being received and the pleasure of it all. And what if you being the pleasure of you, and being willing to be pleasured by me, and me being willing to be pleasure for you, with you, and by you, and when it's reciprocated, the spaces, the possibilities are totally beyond limits. Oof. Okay, so I hope that's given you a kind of taste of me. I'm hoping to bring out more videos in the future, snippets and things of what I do and how I work. I find it quite tricky for my process because my process is very intuitive with regards to art and creation. Next month, if you choose to join us in the Academy, and it's not too late, this month, in fact later this evening, there's a call, again co-facilitated with the merfolk and the sirens and silkies, and next month when I have my taster, I'll be playing with the winged creatures, so we'll be playing with them. So if you'd like to find me, by all means PM me on Facebook. I do have a website, it's being updated, so you're probably better to get me by email, which is magicwoman572@gmail.com. I am more than delighted to chat about what I do or mentor, because I do use the tools of access and other tools, and have, you know, mentored and played with art classes, which is in the future to come. I'm not sure there's anything else I have to say. I think I've covered most of what I've been asked. And if there's anything else, well, free to reach out. I am more than delighted to meet fellow Phantasticals to play with. So thank you. And I hope that for those of you that I have met, I'm sending a heart hug just because I can, because my body likes to be touched and it likes to touch other people. And for those of you that I haven't met, who knows what the future will hold. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much to Siris and all the Phantastical crew that have my back, especially when things go a bit pear-shaped before the call, and all the seen and unseen beings that are with all of us every day, every moment, and what we asked them and invited them more into our lives. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.